Hello, welcome to the oNiD Simhound Rookie Amateur Championship, and today we are at the Circuit of Americas, or COTA as it's known as. I did originally do a track guide in the writer, but I seem to have lost the files, so I've jumped on a server real quick in the Porsche to do another one so I can get it uploaded as soon as possible for you. The air temperature on the server is 22 degrees, the track temperature was very high 20s, just going into the low 30s. I'm using 62 litres of fuel, which I consider a race stint, so let's go. So as you come down the start-finish straight, you want to be keeping to the right-hand side to get ready for turn 1, which is up the hill. So as you come up the hill, you will notice on the right there's the 100 metre board, which is there, and there's a white line pretty much adjacent to it. That is your braking point. So as you approach a white line, you hit the brakes, get down to first gear, get turned in nice and early, because the goal is to clip the inside of that sausage curb just there. And as you clip it, you want to be back on the power instantly to get a good run out of this corner. Use all of the track you can, don't do what I did and let the rear wheel car clip them curbs because they will unsettle it. And that gives you a good run out. So we will go back and watch it in full time. So we're going to brake around the 100, get turned in early down to first, clip the sausage and back on the power. Now get back over to the left hand side because this right hand side is full pelt, no lift and no braking. Just take it as soon as you can and get back to the right hand side of the track to give yourself a better run for this next section, which this is the tricky section. So how I do it is, before I approach the first right hand side curb, I will a dab of the brakes and shift down to fourth, and I will coast over here. I'll keep still coast, another dab of the brakes before this curb, down to third, and as soon as I come off this curb, I want to be back on the power, give myself a little run. Then as I approach this curb, I give a dab of the brakes but stay in third gear. Keep as tight as you can to this line. You can be on and off the throttle, feather it. I come on and off the throttle, which I wouldn't advise because it can unsettle the car, so just if you do get back on the throttle, just feather it, lower it, just try not to come off. Keep to the right hand side, and that should give you a good run to this corner. This section, the main thing about it is, as you're going round the corners, it's very tempting to cut the curbs a lot. Always keep at least one tyre on the tarmac at all times because you will invalidate or get a speed token during the race. It is so easy to invalidate a lap here, it's so easy to get a drive through. As tempting as it is to cut the curbs, always keep a tyre on the tarmac, and when I show the outside view of the car you'll see what I mean. But it's extremely tempting, just be careful. It will take a lot of practice. It took me a few because I've very rarely driven this track, so it took me a bit of learning. So let's go watch it in full speed. So dab a brake before the curb post, dab a brakes on power, feather your throttle round here, and it'll give you a good run out. And you want to get back over to the right hand side as quickly as you can, because this red part of the wall here on the right is your next braking point. So as you pass that, you want to dab the brakes down to second and get turned in nice and early for this left-hander. Again, this is very tempting to cut a lot, but you will invalidate the lap if you do. The cone is your reference guide for how far you can go, but that could get yeeted during the race. So the end of the sausage curb is the maximum you want to go. If you go any more than that, all your tyres will leave the track and you will invalidate the lap. So as you get turned in, You're aiming to cut it as much as you can without invalidating, and just before you get to the curb, you get on the power, and that will slingshot you around nicely. So we'll watch that back in real time. So you want to brake at the red, get back on the power, cut the curb. We'll watch it again because this is a short section. So round we go, hit the brakes at the red, cut the curb back on the power, and ready for this next corner. It's a very quick, tight sequence. It will take you a bit of time to get it right, but when you get a rhythm, it becomes alright. So as you're approaching this corner, as this curb ends and as the green becomes the red, this is where you want to be hitting your brakes again. Down to second, keep as tight as you can, keep your left hand side tyres on the tarmac. As you see, I'm coursing around here, and as it starts to straighten up, I will get back on the power. And then get turned left for this corner. Again, this is like the last one, it's very tempting to cut. The cone is your guide, but if the cone isn't there, the very end of the sausage is the furthest you can go. As you come through this corner, as the weight of the car transfers around, it is very easy to lose your back end here. And as you'll see, as I come through, I get a huge snap of oversteer on the way out. So as you come through, you want to be powering through here, full power. Using all of the available exit curb you can. Again, leave some tyres on the tarmac because you can invalidate here and it will ruin your lap, or you will be on your way to a drive-through. So we will watch the full section again in real time. So you want to brake at the red, power through this. Brake as the green and the red join, back on the power, use all the exit curb you can, and this will give you a good run up. Now your braking point for the upcoming one is, as the red turns to green, the first line on the right is where you want to start braking. Come down all the way to first, turning quite late because you want a very late apex, and what the goal is to just clip the inside sausage, and as you hit that sausage you want to be on full power, and the car will drag you around. Avoid the outside curbs because they will unsettle the car, and it will give you a good run down the straight. Getting on the power early at this corner is vital because this is such a long straight, and if you mess it up you'll lose a lot of time down the straight. So we'll watch it in full time. So brake at the first white line in the green, give it a late turning, clip the sausage and on the power straight away to give yourself a good run down. I usually stay over to the right hand side of the track here. It doesn't really matter, but it's just preference. Get ready for the braking marker, which, as we go down, as you pass the 150, there is a white line. So it's the white line between the 100 and the 150. So as you pass that white line, you want to be on the brakes. Again, all the way down to first, and which is a common theme with this one, you want to get turned in early, like at T1, because the goal is to just clip the inside of that sausage there. So as you get turned in, coming off the brakes early, as you hit the sausage, you want to be on the power. Avoid the curbs on the outside because it will unsettle you. And as you get turned in, you want to get back over to the left hand side for the next complex. So we will watch this in real time. So brake at the white line between the 100 and the 150, get turned in, clip the sausage and back on the power, and get over to the left hand side. Now your braking point for this one is this white line, the first white line on your left. So as you approach that, you want to be hitting the brakes. I come down to first for this one, get turned in nice and early. Your right hand side tyres just want to be clipping the inside of this sausage on the right. And as you come off the sausage, you want to be on the power. Then up to second and follow it right the way around. You may feel like you're going to lose grip and break traction, but trust the car with a grip. You will be fine coming around here. It might even feel like you're drifting it slightly. You will be fine. You can feather the throttle, but you will lose a lot of time. So it's best just to plant it and trust that the car has the grip. So we will watch this in real time. So brake at the white line where the 50 is, clip the inside of the sausage, accelerate as you come off it and keep it planted. Now the braking marker for this one is as this curb starts here. Now there's a few different ways to take this corner. You can brake and keep as tight left as you can. You can follow the dark line if it's an optimum track. What I tend to do is I tend to take it a bit wider and then roll a bit to give me a better exit out of the corner. It's preference, you will find whatever line is suitable for you. But your main point is your braking point is as this curb starts. Again, you want to shift down to first. Get turned in quite late, because again the goal is to clip the inside of this sausage. As soon as you do, back on the power, avoiding the curbs on the outside which will unsettle the car, and get back over to the left, ready for the next corner. So we will watch that in full time. So you want to brake as the curb starts, down to first, get turned in, clip the sausage, get back on the power, get over to the left hand side. Now you want to be accelerating full, and as the right hand side approaches the curb, I will lift off, stay lifted. As I come off the curb, I will get back on the power. Keep it pinned, keep it turned all the way around. If you take the right line, you can take this flat out, as you'll see. If you mess the line up, you will have to lift, which will lose your time. So get your line correct and you will be fine here, you won't have any problems. So we'll watch it in real time. So lift just before the curb, back on the power as you come off the curb, all the way around, get back over to the right hand side, as your braking point for this corner is roughly the 50 metre board on the right. So as you pass the 50 metre board, you want to brake, get turned in. I personally go to second. You can ride over this sausage on the left. Some people clip just the outside, but I go right over it, as you'll see. It does disturb the car a little, but it's worth it for the amount of time you'll gain. And then you want to be back on the power. The track limits on this one isn't quite as strict as elsewhere. It's still pretty easy to invalidate, but as long as you're sensible, you will be good. So we will watch that again in real time. So you want to brake at the 50, over the sausage on the power, don't break track limits. Coming into the last corner. Now again, your brake marker is this white line, which is pretty much adjacent to the 50 metre board. As you approach, you want to be on the brakes, down to first, and as usual with the rest, get turned in nice and early to clip the sausage on the inside. As you do, back on the power, drag you around nicely, avoid the curbs on the outside which will unsettle the car, and that takes you over the finish line, and that is a lap of the Circuit of Americas. We will watch that last corner again in real time. So you want to brake at the 50, get turned in, clip the sausage back on the power, and that takes you over the start finish line. Again, because I don't really know this track very well, I think my time here was a high 26. As you get more familiar with the track, you should get quicker than that time, because I really don't know this track. The main thing to take is don't break the track limits. All through Discord through the week I'm going to tell you about track limits. I'm going to warn you, because that is what will ruin your race. So just be careful with it. So what I'll do now is I'll go back and I'll show you a lap of the track without me rabbiting on, and then I'll show the outside of the car too. Again, I will go back and I will go to the outside of the car, so you will get a good idea of the positions for the tyres, so you can see what is and what isn't in bounds. So we'll watch it now. that is the track guide for COTA, or Circuit of Americas. Again, I apologise, it's been quite late. Like I said, I lost the original files, and if I'm honest, it's not my best track guide because I've had to learn the track myself. But it should give you a rough indicator for a lap around COTA ready for this week's race. As usual, coaching sessions will be on Wednesday evening around 7:15 UK time. Myself and Miles and Scrub will be in there to give you any help you need. Ready for the race on Thursday, so get your practice in. If you have any questions, message me on Discord, message any of the other admins, and good luck for the race. I'll see you then.